we've already went into the civic community engagement and social entrepreneurship panel speakers series, and I would like now to introduce our next speaker, teacher Eugenia Popa and Dana Voler of the Heritage Organization of Romanians in Minnesota. They will present on the premiere of the recent documentary, Journeys of Identity, Romanian Immigration Stories of Resilience. Gina Eugenia Popa is not just an English as a second language teacher. She's a passionate advocate for cultural preservation and education, and she's led HORA for a good amount of time, bridging the gap between Romanian traditions and modern American society. And Dana Voler is you're here. She's the new president of the no longer new the president of HORA in Minnesota, and instrumental in organizing a good amount of events and initiatives that celebrate Romanian heritage, but most importantly, an incredible planner and program implementer. From writing grants to seeing through this incredible documentary. Gina, Dana, are you here?
Yep. Yes, Theo. Thank you so much for the introduction. Always a pleasure to be part of such a prestigious group. Proud to be Romanian in the United States and to represent the community, the Romanian community from Minnesota. A small one, but with a big heart and a big passion. Who are we? Maybe some of you already have heard about us. HORA is an acronym for Heritage Organization of Romanian Americans. We are based in Minnesota. We are a grassroots, nonprofit, volunteer-based organization. And this year we celebrated 15 years of existence. Our mission is to enrich Minnesota's diverse community through preservation and promotion of Romanian American cultural heritage. We wanted to be known not only locally in Minnesota, but across the United States and the world. That speaks volume for how proud we are of our roots, of our cultural identity and heritage. What do we do? Well, a lot. We create cultural exhibits and presentations. We have language classes for children and adults. We organize a lot of cultural events, concerts, performances. We participate in community events that happen in the Twin Cities. We develop art classes and projects, and we just wrapped up a very dear project called Stitches of Love, focused on traditional embroidery, which started during the years of the pandemic when everybody was cooped up in their houses, and the wonderful Romanian women from our community started cross-stitching, copying models from deer shirts, traditional that they inherited in their families. So this is a project that we are very proud of. We also record oral histories. We produce documentaries capturing Romanian immigration experiences. We develop and provide a comprehensive library in Romanian and English as well at our Romanian Cultural Center in St. Paul. That was open right before the pandemic started in 2019. We are very proud of being there. It's smack in the middle of the city in St. Paul, in a historic building, and we are very happy to greet whoever is interested in learning about our history, our culture, our language, our traditions. And of course, we collaborate and partner up with like-minded organization like Immigration Research Forum and the Cultural Institute in New York and ROOF in Chicago and Alianza. We are present in all these organizations because we know that we have to stick together. About our latest project that was a culmination of a long, many years hard work that started in 2012. We started with the idea of documenting Romanian immigration in Minnesota, which there was no documentation of whatsoever. And we did start with the idea of a trilogy. So the first phase for each of the documentary was to first interview, to record oral histories, and create an archive of unique Romanian American immigration stories, which are available to historians as well as researchers for educational purposes. As a teacher, I have provided copies at my school, and in 2025, I will have a professional development day for the teachers in my school with screening of the last documentary. So the 3 documentaries were produced in 2013, the first one, which was focused on early immigration in the 1900s, the beginning of Romanian immigration in Minnesota, called $1,000 and Back, which is what Romanians at that time were doing. They were coming to America to work, to save $1,000 and go back to their communities in Romania and buy land. The next one was released in 2017, called Through the Iron Curtain from Romania. And it was about immigration during the dark communist era. It was focused on, the stories, the dramatic, very emotional stories of the people who managed to escape during the communist years. And then finally, this year, we had the premiere in November of the 3rd documentary, Journeys of Identity, Romanian Immigration Stories of Resilience. That was looking at the immigration, more recent immigration after 1989, after the fall of communism, the new waves of Romanian immigrants coming to the United States for very different reasons as the previous ones. And more so on the conversation, intergenerational conversation between the first generation of immigrants and their children, now growing in the new country, in the new culture, and searching for identity. Why did we go for the 3rd film, which was a lot of work? We wanted to close the knowledge gap of Romanian immigration in Minnesota. We wanted to bring it up to present. The 3 different waves of Romanian immigration were very, very distinct. And also politically, right, immigration is a hot topic in the US political and social conversation. And we wanted to give it a human face. Romanian immigrants are also a part of the American story, the American tapestry, part of the diversity of this country. It's one of the many stories that needs to be told. It's important that everybody understands that the needs of survival and acculturation for the first generation, for the second generation, are real. And we also wanted to promote Romanian heritage in the United States. As a teacher who works with immigrants, with families who come from other countries trying to adapt, to fit into the new culture, I knew this was an important story to tell. Dana? So what was the work? Like I said before, documentaries don't just happen. It's a lot of work. So every film was preceded by a lot of research, multiple conversations, deciding what would be the perspective, the focus of the project. And we realized that the identity for first and second generation immigrants, sometimes, there are differences. So we needed to make sure that both sides were being presented. That was in 2021. That was followed the next year by 13 interviews with multi-generational families. Sometimes we had 3 or 4 generations from the same family that we interviewed, and that was just beautiful. In 2023, we completed a script and gathered additional artifacts and videos needed. There's a lot of research and dogged work to collect artifacts and music, the right music, and the right videos and pictures to make sure that everything fits perfectly. And 2024, that was the final push, where we needed additional recording sometimes, and we completed the documentary and finally released it for screening in November. We had close to 200 people in attendance, and it was beautiful. The documentary was highly appreciated. Everybody resonated with something in the film. Even though, some people were not first or second generation, but they were, fourth, fifth generation, they still found something that they could connect with. Of course, we could not have accomplished this big project without the support of the Romanian Genealogy Society, Immigration Research Forum, Romanian United Fund, Bucharest Inside the Beltway, like-minded organizations that we collaborate with and we get feedback from, and we have a beautiful partnership. And let's not forget that we live in a state that is appreciating the arts, and Minnesotans voted a few years ago to have this legacy grant that we have tapped into very generously. They funded all 3 documentaries. It was a grant from the Minnesota Historical Society, from Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, and of course, all of our members, all of our donors, everybody who participates in one way or another, with funds, with ideas, with time. any way they can help, because they recognize the importance of what we do. This project was important for us because we believe that it's an intervention toolkit for general implementation. Other organizations can always contact us and ask us questions, and we can guide them if they would like to replicate this effort. We believe it has an impact on future generations. The multi-generational family dialogues are absolutely vital. They don't always happen. And this was an exercise into inviting everybody to sit at the table and start these conversations. The role of resilience and identity are paramount for every immigrant. The shared humanity, and of course, it's a resource for anyone who wants to research immigration. We are HORA. If you would like to become a member, volunteer, make a donation, this is who we are. You can find us on the internet. We are proud to say that our site is part of the Library of Congress. That's another huge accomplishment that we are part of. And if you want to contact us, we are open to talking to you and to letting you know what we have done, how we have done it, and help you in any way we can. And I think Dana has a the trailer of the documentary. It's a very short one. Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. And although it was all our movies are based on Minnesota with Minnesota subjects, all the themes that we covered are so universal and don't apply just to the US immigration, but to the whole world pretty much. And I'm sure you'll find something to connect with through this and replicate if you want to. So please watch this trailer.
Dana, I don't think we have the sound.
Yeah, doesn't matter from when.
That's okay. I'll put it in the chat then for everyone to join. That has happened before. I don't know why. Thank you.
It was truly a labor of love, and it hasn't been mentioned. We've been working on it for 4 years now. And this documentary is universal in its message and needs to be present in all the film festivals that we have in the United States, and needs to be shown because it is very much the experience of first and second generation families. I applaud you for bringing this to fruition. It was incredible working together, and I do hope we will make it financially viable for this work to continue, and as you said, being replicated in other diaspora hubs, because it is universal in nature, and we do need to promote these discussions within families, Romanian American families or other diaspora families. It does not matter. We need to promote it for their positive integration and positive anchoring, both in their cultural identity and in that of their parents, or as well as in that of their host country. Thank you so much for this contribution. It was a pleasure to be at the opening, and yes, it was truly impressive. As always, HORA Minnesota always punches above its weight through professionalism, through incredible dedication. Thank you so much for what you're doing.